So let's wrap up the Premier League's games this weekend, starting with Burnley 0, Man City 2, in a game where, aside from the Josh Brownhill header in the first half, Burnley didn't create a lot. And to be fair, that is expected against a dominant Man City team who have only lost 3 games this season. 2 fantastic goals from Man City. It could have been more, but they only needed 2 goals to win it in the end. And Liverpool also won by 2-0 at home against Watford. But unlike Burnley, Watford created some good chances. Kuchka in the first half and a good save from Alisson. And then in the second half, João Pedro had a good shot just wide. But overall, you would say Liverpool did deserve to win. And that sets up a mammoth game on Sunday where Man City play Liverpool. And in my opinion, the winner of that game will probably win the league. And a lot of people probably agree as well, because both teams have played 30 games. Man City have 73 points, Liverpool have 72 points. So it's a massive game, a crucial game, and I cannot wait to watch it. It's going to be really exciting. But in the battle for the top 4, probably the most surprising result of the weekend in the Premier League, Chelsea 1, Brentford 4. Just an insane game, and Brentford thoroughly deserved to win. They created a lot of chances, and they could have been 5 actually. Tony had a great chance in the first half, but yeah, like I said, Brentford created a lot of chances and were very clinical, and full credit to them. They thoroughly deserved the win. But then as for Chelsea, a really nice goal in the second half, early in the second half, Rudiger long shot, who, to be fair, has had a few long shots that have been close. So I wasn't actually that surprised that he scored via a long shot, but the capitulation from Chelsea was just incredible. I mean, 10 minutes, that's all it took for them to collapse and then concede 3 goals against Brentford. But in all fairness, Brentford did thoroughly deserve to win, and it was great to see Eriksen scoring at Stamford Bridge again and back in the team. And then just below Chelsea, in 4th place are Tottenham, who have snuck in there on 54 points, level with Arsenal. And they've stuck in there after a complete demolition of Newcastle by 5-1. Newcastle scoring through Fabian Schär. To be fair, Schär's got, that in a good long shot and free kick in him. But you would expect Lloris to do a bit better with that shot. But then after that, Spurs just completely controlled the match, utterly dominant, and thoroughly deserved to win, creating an XG of 3.27 to Newcastle's 0.63. So that just highlights how dominant Spurs were. And they've managed to sneak into the top 4, although I would still say that it's Arsenal's to lose. I would definitely say that Arsenal still have top 4 in their hands, but they've got a difficult game tomorrow away against Crystal Palace, so it'll be interesting to see how they perform. Then in 6th place, you've got West Ham after they won 2-0 at home against Everton. They created an XG of 1.98 to Everton's 0.7. So you would say West Ham did deserve it in the stats, but also on the balance of play, West Ham did create more chances and a better quality chances. Everton, aside from the Holgate goal and then a couple of Richarlison shots, I don't think they created too much. And to be fair, it obviously didn't help that Michael Keane got sent off, who now misses that massive game away against Burnley. And you would have to worry from an Everton point of view, because they only have 6 points away from home in the Premier League this season. That's 3 fewer than Burnley and Norwich. So it's going to be a fascinating game, that. And obviously, looking at the table, if Burnley win, they'll be 1 point away from Everton. So that is an absolutely mammoth game for both teams. As for West Ham, they're 6th, and why can't they finish in the top 4 or even in the Europa League playoff spot? It's in their hands to an extent, but I guess at the moment they'll be focusing on a massive game on Thursday against Lyon. Then in 7th, you've got Man United drawing 1-1 against Leicester, and I saw Gary Neville said that it looked like a Soccer Aid match, and you can't really disagree with that analysis, to be fair. Man United just really sloppy in possession, not quick with their passing, and you'd say a draw was a fair result, or if anything, Leicester could have nicked it. But yeah, I think Man United almost just need the season to end now, and it is a concern that they don't have Rashford playing up front, and he's not getting a lot of game time, given that Ronaldo is out, Cavani was out, you'd have expected Rashford to start up front, but he didn't. And hopefully for his sake and for, England fans like myself, I'd love to see Rashford play more, and hopefully whoever the new manager is, they start to pick Rashford. Otherwise, you might need to look for a move elsewhere. Then you've got Wolves, who are currently 8th, who won 2-1 at home against Aston Villa. And even though Aston Villa created had a higher XG than Wolves, Wolves created a lot of chances, especially in the first half. They could have been well out of sight, and they took some really nice goals, like Johnny Otto's goal. Excellent finish, fantastic goal from him. And like I said, Wolves could have had more in the first half, but then Villa could have nicked it. Ollie Watkins obviously scored that penalty, and then Matty Cash right at the end. If he just connected with the ball, it could have easily gone in, and Villa would have snatched a point. But this has been a problem for Villa this season. They seem to perform really well against most teams in the bottom half, but against teams in the top half of the table, aside from Man United, of course, who they beat away from home, Villa just struggle to compete against the really good teams in the league. And that's something they're going to have to address next season if they want to finish in a European spot. Then you had Leeds drawing 1-1 at home against Southampton. You'd probably say a draw is a fair result. Leeds creating a good amount of chances, but then Southampton having a really dominant spell of possession between each half. In the end of the first half and into the second half, Southampton were really good. And what a free kick from James Ward-Prowse. This guy has got such amazing ability to score free kicks in him. It's fantastic to witness, and obviously a fantastic week for him, playing for England, being in the England squad, and then scoring an amazing free kick yet again. He's having a fantastic season, Southampton. And to be fair, Southampton in 11th, they've had a really good season. They, I think, made the really good choice with sticking with Ralph Hasenhüttl, and it's paying dividends. They're 11th, playing really good football, and you'd probably say realistically the highest they can finish now is 9th, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And then as for Leeds, they have played 31 games and have 30 points. So you'd say that they're a couple of wins away from pretty much guaranteeing safety in the Prem now. So for Leeds, it's a decent point, especially given that Watford, Everton and Burnley all lost. Then finally, the last game in the Premier League weekend, Brighton 0, Norwich 0. It's the same old story with Brighton. How they didn't score is beyond me. They created an XG of 2.86 over Norwich's 0.58. Maupay missing a penalty and missing multiple chances. Welbeck as well. Trossard had a good chance. So, yeah, Brighton, it's just a similar story with them. Not just this season, but last season. Creating so many chances, but just not being clinical enough. So they'll be disappointed in that sense. And as for Norwich, unfortunately for them, they've got a lot left to do in the season. They've only won 4 games. That's actually one more than Burnley, but they're on 18 points. So if they were going to stay up, they really had to win this game. So it's looking unlikely now that they'll stay up realistically. So for them, it's more just about building for next season and seeing if they can go again. And Dean Smith needs to analyse who he's going to keep in the Championship next season and then who's going to go. It'll be interesting to see how much the squad changes, whether the likes of Pukki and Gibson and Hanley and Krul are still in the team, and even the likes of Aarons, whether clubs might want to buy him or whether Aarons decides to stay at Norwich for another season. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Norwich shape up, all likelihood in the Championship next season. But yeah, that's the roundup of the weekend fixtures. Tomorrow, Palace play at home against Arsenal in a really crucial game for Arsenal. It'll be interesting to see how Arsenal play in that match, because if they can put in a really good performance and get a result, you would say that they've almost, I wouldn't say almost got top 4 in the bag, but they're certainly on course for that. So it'll be a really interesting game to watch. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.